Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Dalia, and we're back on my tropical island Guava doing another speed build today. If you know me, you know that I do not pre-plan my builds. I'm not good at placing planned things down, but I really tried with this one because it's a very structured build. So I have the little map bit laid out on the ground, as you guys saw, but I will say that it doesn't quite go as planned, which is why this video is a little longer than some of my other videos have been lately. And that's only because I want to show you guys the process of how much I've struggled with city core lately. So here's where we're going to be decorating, and we're going to be decorating a cul-de-sac for two of my villagers. We're going to be decorating it for Rio and Flora, and we're also going to be building my house here too. So it's going to be kind of like a villager neighborhood, and we're going to be building it right here on the right side of my map. So yeah, this is the layout I thought I would need. It changes. So, but anyway, I hope that you guys liked today's video. If you do, don't forget to leave a like on the video as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos I make, and hit those post notifications as well so you're always notified of when I upload. So yeah, get yourself a snack, get cozy and comfortable, and without further ado, we got a lot of work to do. This is a long build, so strap in because we got a lot of stuff to do. Thankfully, there's not a lot of terraforming in this build. It is mainly just custom design placement, which doesn't make this build any easier. Basically, I just struggled with the dimensions of this build. I thought that I had planned it out accordingly, but basically when I started this build, I wasn't sure if I wanted 2 villagers' homes to be in this build, 4 or 3. And I ultimately decided to go with 2, and then I decided to include my own house as well. Typically, I don't really build my house directly next to or beside villager homes. I usually make that entirely a build in and of itself. But because I don't exactly know what I want my house to be on this island, I'm like, you know what, we'll just make it a part of the neighborhood, make it a part of just the general layout of the city. So that's what we chose to do. So here I'm just placing down the cul-de-sac, and I'm doing obviously a hexagon. I think this is a hexagon-like placement. Rio is hanging out, even though her house isn't even nearby yet. She knows her house is going to be moved here, you know? So I'm placing the cul-de-sac down. This is back when I originally was assuming I probably would be including 4 villagers' homes, which is why throughout the course of the video you will see the layout of the pathing progressively change and alter without really any explanation. And if I included all the changes I made for this build, this video would be like 2 hours long. And honestly, nobody wants to see that. 30 minutes is kind of like the sweet spot of it being slightly long, but just long enough that it's okay. So here I'm already deciding that I absolutely hate the layout. So I am removing the dirt path where I made these little markings and just expanding it a little bit. Rio's just having the time of her life, not bothered at all by the fact that I'm doing all this work and she's not helping out at all. It's perfectly fine. But as I changed that, I kind of got the general layout and then was quite happy with it, honestly. But unfortunately, you will see in a moment that after I placed all my pathing down, which took me longer than I care to admit, I have to remove it all and fix it because I have to add sand pathing underneath this entire area. I wasn't originally going to do this, but then I decided, you know what, I want to place a lot of palm trees and stuff in the area, and I want to include certain beachy paths by the houses, so I want to put sand pathing underneath the houses. So that's what we did. You will also see that I do use the more circular shaped pathing for the middle part of the cul-de-sac. I eventually delete this part of the pathing. This is still from Colin Crossing, just an additional part of his road like more natural part of his road pathing that doesn't include the like corner bits with the brick that I'm placing down here. But I decided it's an extra 8 slots of design codes that I really don't want to waste, so I change it. Here I am going to grab Rio and Flora's houses. This is where my decision making for placing the villagers' homes really was the big struggle. I think I moved their homes like maybe 6 or 7 times each. If you've seen my Zucker build for this island, I moved his house like 4 times and I thought that was a lot. So the fact that I had to move all their houses so many times was like a struggle. So here I am, originally placing Flora's house down. I actually moved her house to the right side eventually, but it was the layout and trying to decide how many villagers' homes that I wanted placed. So I customized both of them, placed their houses down here, and this is when I ultimately decided, you know what, let's place my home down. So I grabbed my home, I did the customization, I was happy with the layout, and then I went back and placed Flora and Rio's homes. This took me a really long time. We don't have to talk about it. But eventually I was very happy with the placement. The only problem is that Flora's house is really, really close to the beach. Which is not a big deal because I'm including the beach in the build. But I'm like, how can I make these homes equal on both sides when I don't have as much space for Flora's home as I do for Rio's home? So you will see me struggle a little bit with the decorating portion of this video for the main fact that I did not think I had enough room. But I make it work, I think. So here I am, they're all placed, everything looks beautiful, I'm happy with it, and then we can finally get to decorating. This is where I realized I wanted to put the sandpathing down, so I don't show any of this. I'm just quickly pasting the sandpathing down underneath the design, and then I will place everything again as if nothing happened. You guys don't have to see all this. See, like, look at all the sandpathing. It's beautiful. It looks great. Like, please, if you're gonna place pathing underneath codes, realize you're gonna do it before you place all the codes down, because you will regret it. But you know what? It looks good. I'm happy with it. Here's what it looks like on my map. It looks a little strange, but I'm happy with it. And then we started placing down more pathing. This is where I started placing the pathing that's kind of like, you know, the little walkways leading from my home. This is one of the designs that I really wanted to use on the sand, and then this little pebble design as well. And I just thought it would look so much better on sand than it would on grass. So I'm really happy with the choice to do the sand pathing. I wish I had just done it sooner. And here I am just building up the cliffs directly behind the cul-de-sac area and my house. If you've seen my builds for these particular areas, you would know I'm going to be making a 3rd tier cliff in that area, but I haven't done that build yet. So I'm just kind of starting to get the pathing and the structure for the whole area kind of laid out. And I knew I wanted the area behind my house to be cut off by a cliff. So I just extended the sand pathing just a little bit behind my home and then placed the 1-tier cliff. But don't place anything behind the cliffs or on top of the cliffs. I just wanted the general layout just to kind of be figured out, you know what I mean? And yeah, I quite like it. I like that it's cut off and it really just kind of encloses the space, which I really like, because like the road stops, you know what I mean? And then I am customizing all these simple panels, because if you've seen my builds on this island so far, I'm using this sample panel design and placing this along my cliffs to blend the cliffs into the more city vibe. So I'm using these like roadblock kind of designs, so I'm placing them all along the back of the cliffs directly behind my house. I will say this is probably one of the main reasons for having so much lag on this island so far, which is not a lot of fun. Like, I don't mind lag, but like certain areas are just like very laggy, a lot of the areas that have a lot of like the roads with lots of cars and stuff have a lot of lag, but I definitely think all the simple panels definitely don't help. And then I also place fences in front of them too. So yeah, it's just, there's a lot. Like you will see, I have probably like 20 simple panels here. And then I'm placing the castle walls here as well. The castle walls will line the left side of the build, just to connect to the highway kind of area I have to the left of the cul-de-sac. So I'm just placing these fences down, and this is something I've done so far directly behind my plaza if you've seen that build. So I'm just mimicking what I did there, and I quite like the way that it looks directly behind my house. I definitely think that it just kind of blends everything. It makes it a little bit more city. And then placing these castle walls just directly along the other part of the cliff. Once again, just blending everything together from where you can see the other castle walls I've placed down in previous builds. And yeah, everything is blending very seamlessly, which I quite like. Then I grabbed a bunch of flowers and trees and stuff and shrubs, and then just started placing them in around like the general area. The middle part with the cul-de-sac, I really wanted there to be a cute little palm tree with some flowers and a shrub in the middle, keeping it very simple but very cute as well. I do change this area up progressively throughout the build, but the general idea pretty much stays the same. And then I'm running around and planting tons of shrubs and trees next to Flora and Rio's house. I wanted their houses to be not exactly matching on either side, but very similar, just so it kind of gives the illusion of like a very structured neighborhood. And here's when I eventually decided I wanted them to each have their own driveway. This was something I wasn't completely set on just because of the overall layout of the area. I didn't think it really called for it. But I had an equal amount of space in front of both their houses, and I'm like, you know what, this is cute. I can make it work. I want to give them their own cars. I basically really just wanted to give Rio her own red car and Flora her own pink car because they're like red and pink villagers. I just thought the idea was really cute, so that's what I did, and I think it looks adorable. Like, I love these mini cars especially. I think they're my favorite car design because they're still small enough that they fit into most spaces. But they do make the area just look so much more realistic. I really like it. So taking a step back from the neighborhood portion of the build, one thing I did mention in my first build, I think, on this island is that I really wanted there to be an ice cream truck on my island somewhere along the street area. And I figured, you know what, I have this awkward patch of like grass directly next to the street. Let's make a cute little ice cream truck. It's not like a very big build. It's not like a restaurant or even like the smoothie bar I've made on my island so far. It's very small. There's no real seating. It's really what it sounds like. It is a ice cream truck. So I tried my best to make this look realistic without actually having to download any ice cream designs, because I didn't want to have to download an ice cream truck design to place on the truck if I didn't have to. I still think I made it work. I think it looks really, really cute, especially with the ice cream display case I placed in front of it. Kind of looks like an ice cream thing you can kind of like serve yourself, so it's kind of like a neighborhood thing, and it's just really cute. And luckily the vertical banner comes with an ice cream option as one of like the defaults, so that kind of saved me from really having to download a ice cream design, because I'm trying to save codes where I can. I do still have a bunch of codes available spaces, but I'm trying to save them for when I really think I'll need to download more designs, especially considering so many of my design slots are taken with my pathing. I'm just trying to be as mindful of my code usage as possible, but I really think it looks so cute. Like, I do change the area progressively throughout the build a little bit, but the overall, like, the soft cone lamp and everything tied together with like the vertical banner and like the colors and everything with the light blue. I just think they look really cute, and yeah, I'm really happy. And then I'm just decorating the area. The majority of this build, like at least for the like overall like villager neighborhood portion, is just placing items down for the rest of the build. So placing tons of cars and things along the street. I'm having so much fun placing these cars and trucks down and just kind of being like very random with their placements, but I still like, I love that the colors are like so different in like the different types of cars you use, and they can add just so much more to the space. So I'm really enjoying placing cars and like scooters and stuff down, but yeah. And then I wanted each of their homes to look similar to one another, so I decided to place some peacock chairs in front of each of their houses, and a Moroccan footrest with their own like little drinks. I do change the color of this footrest to the pink one later on, but I just wanted to give them each their own like little sitting area in front of their homes. Very simple, very cute. And then because Flora's house is so close to the beach, I decided to give her her own little like flamingo beach. I'm going to be decorating the majority of my beaches on my island. Obviously, I have a tropical island, so it's very easy to decorate the beaches for this. But I wanted to place tons of palm trees down, and then tons of the flamingos in the more brighter pink color, just because I think it'll look so cute to get photos and stuff of her here. And then I wanted to give her a bunch of flamingos around her house anyway, and this is like, it's not directly next to her house, it's like it's its own individual build, but at the same time it can kind of be like her own version of her own beach. And yeah, so I'm just placing tons of those down, a couple of like a little beach umbrella chairs and like a hammock. I think I put a wave breaker down, just kind of like just items you would see on a beach. I include some pathing later on, and then place down some seaweed and weeds as well too, to make the area look a little more overgrown. As I've mentioned in, I think it was my Zucker beach build, any of the areas that I have more like of a beach style build, I'm going to make it more rustic and overgrown. Just to kind of nicely contrast the actual city parts of my island. Once again, placing this white plank design, just going straight down the beach, and just kind of altering the uses of the different sizes of the path. And I think it looks really cute. And then I just quickly customized this hammock, once again using one of the in-game designs that we get from the Able sisters. And yeah, this area in particular has a lot of pink, obviously because of Flora and just with the flamingos overall. I do eventually change out the beach chair with the parasol to a different color, but that's the one I had in my inventory at the time. But yeah, just planting some flowers and trees and throwing down items, and just kind of like the area is finally coming together. And I really liked it. I started to do a little time traveling just to grab more items and things, and some of my shrubs and started growing in, which I really liked to see how they were looking, like the colors on the shrubs, which I really liked. And yeah, as you can see, the area is really starting to come together, and I'm really loving how it looks despite how difficult and challenging it was to build it. I still think it's really cute. And this area directly beside my house on either side, you can either think of this as like the attachment to my own home, or you can think of it as backyards for Flora and Rio. I didn't really directly go into it thinking it was going to be either or, so it works for both. So you will see me in a moment. On the left side of the house, I decorate kind of like a little garden center type of thing. Basically it's just a backyard with a bunch of plants that you see in game. And then on the left side, no, sorry, on the right side, you see a little sitting area with a bistro table. And then there's going to be a little laundry spot. So I'm just quickly moving around the storefronts, and then I started placing the items down. I do place a deck path underneath this side of the build on the left side, because all the plants I include aren't actual like flowers. They are just like plants you get from in-game. So I figured, you know, like a really pretty like deck with a bunch of like potted plants would be really cute. And then on this side right here, I'm just using a bistro table with some ranch chairs, just keeping this little area very simple. So you can either think of this as a connection to my own home or as backyards for Rio and Flora, but either way, I think it looks very cute. And I tried to keep the spaces as different and as varied as possible, just because I wanted this to really look like a neighborhood, which every space looks a little bit different. But there's still some cohesion and like consistency with some of the spaces and like some of the planting of like the trees and the flowers and things. Just at this point, going back and adding just a little more like plants and like just some additional items, I think that would make the areas look a little bit better. So I planted like an orange tree in this garden area, and then just replacing all the items I'd placed down and just kind of shuffling things around at this point. At this point in the video, I was pretty much done with the overall build, and I was just filling in any additional spaces I felt like needed to be filled in. But I was finally fully happy with the way that the areas were starting to look, so I was like a lot more confident in how the build was coming together. But yeah, and then placing down some green leaf piles, you know me, and then replacing this parasol. I forgot that you can customize these, so I just changed it to the yellow beach umbrella that you get with the game, and then just placing a couple more items on the beach to kind of make it look a little more filled in, a little more beachy, placing a milkshake next to this hammock. And here I place a little laundry area because it's kind of cut off from Flora's house. Like you can't really see the full area. I wanted to keep it really small and simple. So I just use a clothing line and some stack of clothes. And then, yeah, really not much else to say. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. At this point in the video, I was just kind of finishing up and placing all of the like furniture items back down, and then going around and planting some weeds to cover up the spaces, and then placing some shells, like some loose shells and seaweed in random areas as well. And then we'll pretty much be finished with the build. I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who's been watching these videos from my new island. If you've seen any of them, you would know that this is a new style of island decorating for me, and it's been a lot of fun, very challenging, but I'm having tons of fun decorating it, and I love that you guys are enjoying it, and it's honestly just motivated me so much more to continue decorating. And yeah, I've really loved your suggestions for the island so far, and just your comments and your views mean a lot to me, and I'm really, really grateful for your continuing support. So thank you guys so much. I know that's kind of a random thing to throw in, but yeah. And then at this point, I was pretty much almost finished with the build completely. This is where I decided to change the middle pathing here. I figured I could still make the cul-de-sac just using the road codes I already had, including this little side area with more like, I don't know what to call this code, like the sidewalk portion of the road, I guess. And I know that those two angled signposts are not facing the right way. I do fix them later, I promise you. But here I am just erasing the additional thing. Like, this is gonna save me 8 design slots, so kind of worth it in my mind. I still really like the way that the middle of the cul-de-sac looks, and it saves me 8 design slots, so I can't really complain. So I'm just finishing up this area here, planting a little bit more shrubs and trees, and just kind of just framing the space, I guess you could say. and just planting flowers where I feel like they should grow. One of my big things is that apparently I'm not placing enough flowers and variety of fruits and things on my island, which is why I'm currently at a 2-star rating. I don't think I'll ever reach 5 stars on this island, just for the fact that I have a lot of fallen items, like with my like beach shells and stuff like that. So not a big deal for me, but yeah. Anyway, we are officially wrapped up with the video. I did do some like final touches off camera, but yeah, overall I'm extremely happy with the build. So without further ado, let's go check it out. Alright, that is everything for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. I'm having a lot of fun decorating this island, and it's really challenging me to like create islands in different ways that I'm used to, so I hope that you guys are enjoying it as well. And if you liked today's video, don't forget to leave a like on it, as well as subscribe to the channel, and make sure to hit those post notifications so that you're notified of whenever I upload. So yeah, I hope that you guys all have an absolutely wonderful day, wonderful week, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!